Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. There's been a bit of cock up. I've changed this to Lunchtime Meltdown, but it's come on as Thursday Live, which is what Aidan does later on, obviously. This is my little noon check-in with you with a few things that caught my eye. And I'm going to be doing this every day because, oh my God, there's just so much going on all the time. It's never ending. So just to quell my own frustration, let's get straight on it. And this is a little bit of a follow-up to the last thing we were talking about on Tuesday, which was the Straight Pride event, which I thought was an hilarious troll. And something that I sort of brushed over, but that was made very clear after we finished was this. The squad, the four socialist Democrats that are doing very, very well in terms of Twitter following, but not in terms of actual public support. They whipped up donations for the 36 people that were protesting Straight Pride. Now, really quick catch up. Straight Pride, silly party, obvious troll. 1,000 people turned up. Loads of them got violent. And job done, really, in terms of the optics. I'll tell you in a minute actually about the person that messaged me about this, because it's how it drifts through to normal people that are just getting on the lives, and it's like, wait, they were attacking people with being straight. Basically, yeah, they convinced themselves that they were white supremacists and Nazis and all that other nonsense. But yeah, the squad, sitting elected officials. And in fact, I've got the tweet here ready to go. One way to support the local LGBTQ community impacted by Boston's white supremacist parade. Let's leave that for now. Contribute to the bail fund for the activists, terrorists, by the way, who put themselves on the line protecting the Boston community. Now, here's the thing, right? At least with Hitler and his stormtroopers, he had the sense enough to deny involvement, to deny knowledge that they were going around, but they were using the exact same language when they went around beating the shit out of communists and killing people. They said it was self-defense too. They said that they were defending their communities. But at least Hitler had the wherewithal to deny it. Politics is a passionate thing. Some of these silly kids got a bit too excited. These things happen. It's regretful. And obviously they're going to have to be punished. That was his take on things. But fucking AOC, this scumbag liar, he's just straight up supporting him. 26 grand they'd raised last time I checked on it. And obviously it gets reported, doesn't it? At the Antifa fuel cloud of about 100 counter-protesters. No, they weren't counter-protesters. They were protesting Straight Pride. Which, as silly as it is, and it is silly, it was intentionally ridiculous, but they weren't fucking... Okay. It's unclear how many of those arrested were affiliated with Antifa. Well, here's the problem. This word's meaning different things to different people, isn't it? But most people now understand Antifa to be the far leftists who engage in terroristic violence, who engage in political violence, who engage in oppressive, violent, bullying tactics on the street. When we say Antifa, we're talking about far left extremists. Yes, there are named chapters. Yes, there are groups. They complain. They don't complain. They try and make out like, well, but we're all Antifa. I saw some puff piece on the BBC the other day with some guy. He paints anti-fascist art and he's like, I'm Antifa. And it's like, no, you're anti-fascist, mate. You're a good person who thinks the right way. People who go out and are violent for political gain, that's Antifa. That's what we're talking about. But, at least they're drifting into affiliated. But photos posted online showed a black-clad Antifa activist being carried off by the police. Yes! Blocking roads, doing all the rest of it. Now, it's quite interesting because they're being fucked here. Check this out. In the Boston court, the scene's bizarre and worrying as the judge battles against attorneys. This is the next step. The defense attorney's actually been taken in for contempt of court. And the prosecutor tried to have the charges dropped. Actually, what the fuck are you telling these people? Oh, I'm trying not so hard not to swear, but why are you telling these people? This is the message we send every time. It's like, oh, they go and spit on people, throw shit at people, kick the living shit out of people. And you know, when you interview people in these areas, they're like, no, I don't want either side here, man. My door's closed to everyone. They're not welcoming Antifa. Jesus Christ, no. Now, what this judge has done, judge has seen the state of Portland right now. He's seen the state of Italy. He's seen the state of various parts of Europe just losing to these people. And he's gone, no, they're getting charged. They attacked police officers. They attack people. I had this out with Aidan when about a year ago there was a load of them lined up against the wall. And it was like riot police. Because I can't even remember off the top of my head now where it was. But there was, it was a town where there was a no mask law brought in for the KKK. And yeah, they turned up with the masks and the police got them against the wall with guns and arrested the fucking lot of them. I remember Aidan saying, oh, I don't like this. Well, you know what? I don't like it either. But what happens if you don't do this? These people are extremists. They are terrorists. They are not interested in freedom. So fuck them. Fuck them. And fuck Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for supporting them. For backing them financially. Absolute prick. Fucking Green New Deal. Wait. What's this? Let's have a look. What's actually in the Green New Deal? Explain with a video. Oh my God. Well, I've read the Green New Deal. Oh, do you know what? Let's keep that. We'll do that tomorrow. That looks like a good one. Next story. Obviously, Brexit is screwed. There was all this talk of proroguing. You can't prorogue. We need to get in there and sort it out. And they did what they always do, which is just delay it and faff about and frustrate every element of it. You know the worst thing for me about Brexit is people calling for a people's vote, for a second referendum. I mean, some of them, the Lib Dems at least, and you know some of the other ones, are at least honest enough to say that that is the road to stopping Brexit. But the people who actually try and claim that it's got anything to do with really finding out what people think, really letting people know, bollocks, absolute bollocks. Just be honest and advocate for stopping Brexit. I might not agree with the Lib Dems right now, but at least they've got some semblance of integrity about them with all this. At least they have a position. It's disgraceful, the state of this right now. Everyone's going on about the way Boris acted when he first got in. Oh, you know, it's a coup, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, have you forgotten what's been going on the last 3 years? Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with the way he did it. But you know what? It was a nice change. We had 1 week with a different approach, and now we're just back to faffing about. And let's take a look at this out, shall we? The Telegraph put out this amazing video.
We will call for a general election. I think we need a general election.
We're ready for a general election. We are ready to take on this government and ready to win a general election.
We want a general election.
We want a general election as soon as we can achieve a general election. And I say to the Boris Johnson, just bring it on. Let's have this general election.
Bring about a general election so the people of this country
Look at the dates here.
their future. We think
This isn't cherry pick, man.
Election. We will
Press for a general election.
I want a general election. General election.
Nice they put the Palestinian flags down long enough to clap for a general election. Thanks for that, Times. You made my job a lot easier. So obviously they abstained, didn't they? I mean, I can see why. They wouldn't win a general election right now. They're giving us some faff nonsense about, oh well, we'd sleepwalk into New Deal whilst the election was happening, blah 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 blah. Bollocks. You'd lose. You're gonna lose a general election. You know you are. I mean, that doesn't mean to say that the Conservatives would get a majority. I think their best hope right at this exact moment is going into some sort of alliance with the Brexit Party. But outside, just nobody knows. There's too many variables. The Greens, Lib Dems, everyone's doing well at the moment. Apart from, obviously, UKIP and Change UK, the Cook Party. But this disgusts me, man. I mean, how many people... I voted Remain! But just leave. All this nonsense, all this propaganda about people not knowing what they voted for. Remainers don't know what they voted for either. I know very few Remainers who are actually informed on the workings of the EU. They haven't got a fucking clue. And they're all, oh, the economy, there's going to be issues. Yeah, there will be. Of course they will. They don't even know why Leavers voted Leave. They don't know the bottom line reason. It was moral. It was a moral vote. You know, it's not a fair comparison to World War II, but the thing, people died in World War II. There was a cost. And there is a cost with Brexit. I don't think the cost is going to be anywhere near what they're saying it is, but sure, it'll be bumpy to start with. Sure, things happen. Businesses open and close all the bloody time. But they can't even grasp that it was a moral fucking... I tried to listen to James O'Brien the other day. It was literally half an hour of him just smugly going on about how politicians lie. In the 30 minutes, he must have done 20 different little things, but the message was the same every time. Politicians lie. Yes, mate. Welcome to the world. As if that's some sort of profound realization. How moronic do you have to be a James O'Brien listener and be like, yes, mate. Yes. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy your book, and I'm gonna learn to win strawman arguments too. Oh, bollocks to Brexit. But just because we need to get it over and bloody done with, let's have an election. Fuck it at this. I didn't even want one. Just leave. For God's sake. If you extend this again, it's just... They don't realise, do they? Because all of them, the Conservatives, Labour, they're all just looking at power. They're looking at the power. They're looking at how the dust is going to settle. But they don't... They can't see the bigger picture of how much destruction they're causing onto our society. They're increasing the argument for people saying things like, well, democracy has failed, capitalism has failed, all that other nonsense, all these extremist factions. We're opening up the space for it right now, aren't we, with all this nonsense. It was the biggest vote in our history. Just do it. WTO, deal, whatever, just bloody do it. Just do it. For God's sake. Winds me up, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, it's so annoying. I can't even right now. 15th of October. Yeah, whatever. I've not registered since I moved house. And obviously living in Manchester, my vote counts for a lot, so I don't know who I'll give it to. See, in Manchester, you don't even get the weirdos on the ballot. You just basically get Labour, Lib Dems, maybe a Conservative, maybe. It's boring. I think that's why I got so interested in politics overall and abroad and all that. I've been trying really hard to follow Indian politics recently, but I can't. There's too much. When I follow Indian politics, it makes me realise how other people feel when I start hammering on. When I start going on about the morality of capitalism and all that other nonsense. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh, God. Right, Jezebel. McKrae game, you've probably heard about this. Founder of America's largest conversion therapy programs. Now he says he's gay and he's sorry. And it's really weird how this is being covered. Like, it's... Of course he's gay. Of course he's gay. Do you think for a moment that anyone at the head of one of these organisations doesn't suck cock? Are you insane to even think that? That all these like moments, it was trending, everyone's like, we got you, you did this. Of course he's gay. How could anyone who isn't a self-hating, closeted homosexual devote their entire professional career to this nonsense? For anyone that doesn't know, the conversion therapy, it's, you know, they sum it up with pray the gay away. Good friend of mine, I've not spoken to in years actually now, he went to one of them, I can't go into the details too much, but he told me he had a very high suicide rate. I'm just going to take his word on that. Messed him up, man. Messed him up. Moved to DC. It was so bad he left Texas. Can you imagine it being so bad that you leave Texas for DC? You go to Washington, DC? Madness. But he's a writer. He's a good guy. I love him. Big gay cowboy. But yeah, I believe the ex-gay ministry is a lie. Did you see the story recently, though, where it was confirmed what we've known for many, many years, that your sexuality is mostly your genetics, obviously. You're born that way, as we all say it. But they did find out that partly it is your environment as well, which again was a was a revelation, or was really difficult for certain woke people to deal with. But it's true, man. If you here's the best thing, and this is a fact, and it's accepted even by woke people. If you were abused sexually as a child, you are more likely to be a sexual abuser as an adult. You're more likely to be a paedophile. You are. That's a fact. I know. I used to work in the industry. I used to work with very borderline 16, 17, 18, very, very, very difficult scenarios. Sometimes I'd only have 3 clients at a time, and that was my entire job. Very difficult. Lots of contact with the police. Lots of liaison with the community. Really, 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 everything was life or death. And because you're trying to make sure some 12-year-old doesn't get shagged. It was horrible. But or younger even. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. But yeah, we know your environment. Same thing happens with gay. The same thing happens with preferences. The same thing happens with, apparently more bisexual people. Although I question those statistics. Were abused as kids. Well, maybe that affects them then. Maybe they then partly become affected. This is all standard science. But the interesting thing with that then is that conversion therapy must work with some people. And that's a horrible thing to think, isn't it? I mean, it's immoral. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to do. Unless you're a grown-ass adult. If a grown-up... Here's the thing with me in this. If a grown-up gay person wants to do this, signs up for it, more power to you. Good luck. I hope you can pray the gay away, get married, have kids, all the rest of it. And you learn to love vaginas somehow. If that's the life you want to lead, good for you. I don't think these places should be closed. In terms of kids, nah. But still, are you surprised? They're all gay. Of course they are. He's a self-hating homosexual. That's why he did it. That's why he does it. Sweet Jesus. Let's move on anyway. Teenager, blind from living off crisps and chips. I love this. I love how this is pathologized. Let's just go through a bit of the story and then I'll go on it. Experts are warning about the risks of extreme fussy eating after a teenager developed permanent sight loss after living on a diet of chips and crisps. Eye doctors in Bristol cared for the 17-year-old after his vision had deteriorated to the point of blindness. Blah, 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 French fries, Pringles, white bread, and all the rest of it. Obviously, he had vitamin deficiencies. The adolescent, who cannot be named, had seen his GP at the age of 14 because he'd been feeling tired and unwell. Well, let's get this though, right? Yeah, all right, he lost his sight. He was not over or underweight, but was severely malnourished from his eating disorder. Oh, he had an eating disorder, did he? Avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. Is that what we're calling bad parenting these days, is it? Is that what we're calling parents who refuse to take responsibility for their kids? Avoidant food intake disorder is a relatively new term. Oh, I bet it is. I bet it is. Since the woke fuckers took over everything and started telling everyone, you're fine as you are. You're a precious little princess. I bet this is a relatively new term. Because no one's a bad parent, obviously. Everyone's a victim. That was introduced in 2013 when it first appeared in the 5th edition of the DSM-5. So the DSM-5 is such fucking trash. it is a political document. Be very wary of people who cite it. It is a political document. It is a handful of people who sit around and decide, and they change things here and there. And for me, it's no good for anything beyond lazy, poorly trained volunteers who work at psychiatric units and stuff like that. That's all it is. You know, you've got your list, haven't you? Do you not feel yourself sometimes? Right, okay, cool. There we go. Yeah. Do you ever hear voices? Yeah, okay, cool. Fuck off. Do you realise how hard it is to get a genuine clinical psychologist in this country? Again, working in that area, it can take years to get someone who really, really knows what we're doing. And obviously, we've got a shitty health system. The NHS is a fucking joke, and the first thing that gets cut is mental health. Always, that just goes by the by. Because you know what? They'll just go kill them. So who cares? It's not visible, is it? There's no one sat on a gurney in a corridor and photos lining up like that. They're just on a waiting list at home, being miserable. It's the same with chronic conditions as well. Ah, fuck 'em. Yeah, I'm not getting into the rant about the NHS anyway. Anyway. Selective eating disorder. Piss off. More than just picky eating. Do you know what the disorder comes from, though? You being a shit parent. Kids don't like anything. Babies, you can give them everything. They will eat anything that you put in their mouth. Anything at all. Blah, 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 blah. And then ages, what? 2, 3, 4, maybe? Oh. Am I offline? So why is it telling me I'm offline? Oh. I'm going to check that in a sec. No, I'm right there. Oh. Ooh. I'm going to check that in a sec. I'm right there. YouTube is telling me it says offline. Let's carry on. Yes, kids. When kids reach a certain age, they want to control the world around them. They develop enough personality. This is fact, by the way. You can look this up. This isn't some opinion. This is the actual development of children. They want to control the world around them. They want to decide what they're going to wear. They want to decide what they want to watch on TV. You know, they want to decide the food they're going to eat. And one of the first ways that they do control these things is by refusing food. No, I refuse. And you know what you've got to do? Fucking eat it. If you don't eat it... Well, no, I don't say fucking, obviously, to my daughter. I don't talk like this around her, usually, unless Aidan phones me. I forget myself when Aidan phones me. I get a bit excited. But they've got to eat it. There's that old wives' tale. You've got to eat something 11 times before you like it. It's true. And don't get me wrong, I'm not beating her. I'm not standing over her. It's just eat it. I keep telling her, you've just got to... I know it's weird. Eat it. You'll get a taste. Eventually, your body will associate that with feeling good. And I always make a roast midweek. I always make a mini roast midweek. Just potatoes, carrots, and it fit. Oh, a chicken with bones there. Disgusted her, it did. But you know what she was doing last night? She was helping Mum strip the carcass, getting in there, touching it. She was there, the big plate of roast, just stood there eating the roast potatoes over and over. When she finished her carrots, she got up, come round to our plates, Mum and Dad's, and just took our carrots, roast carrots. All you know, I always buy a small, it doesn't matter what I do. I always buy a small pack and then just roast them whole, you know, peel, top and tail. But eating a lot. Why? Because I basically forced her to eat it. If you don't eat that, you go to bed hungry then. And she'd come in here at midnight, Daddy, I need a snack. And I go, well, you should have eaten your dinner. Because that's what parenting is. If you don't do that shit, then they end up going fucking blind at 17. If he's eating Pringles and chips and French fries, maybe it's because you keep putting Pringles and chips and French fries in the fucking fridge, dickhead. I was a fussy eater. Phenomenally fussy. I was known for only eating cheese sandwiches. And my mum, for all her faults, she's not a bad woman, She fucked up on that regard. She should have forced me. Full stop, she should have forced me. End of story. And not that I hold any grudges against her, man. She's a human being. She's not perfect. The way she says it was, I used to eat everything, and then I saw my dad. My dad's a super fussy eater. I saw my dad not eating anything, and she told me that. I thought, maybe I did see my dad doing that, but you know what? And then I became an adult who could not eat anything. I was like this. I even needed glasses at one point, so who knows? Maybe it was the beginnings of that. But as an adult, I forced myself. Couldn't eat mushrooms. Had them deep fried. Fried the fuck out of them. Covered in batter. Like fried to the point where they were just nothing. I was like, this is nice, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually, I was eating them, and you just gotta force yourself. Ridiculous nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous. He was put on. Let's just check this. In terms of sight loss, he's met the criteria for being registered blind. This is the thing, isn't it, man? This is the thing about not challenging. This is the thing about not causing offence, not being hurtful, stopping the hate and all that they always label it as. I might tell my daughter she's got to go to bed because she's got school in the morning, and she might dislike that. I might have offended her. But then she's not going to be tired for school, is she? She's going to be up. She might dislike the fact that I wake her ass up and force her to eat some breakfast. I don't force it down I sit her ass there for a full half hour so she can bloody eat it because she fusses and takes the time. But then I know she's going to feel bad during the day. Sometimes new information hurts. It offends you. And this is the problem with all this cancel culture. You're fine as you are. No, you're not. If you're 12, 13, 14, you are not fine as you are. You are an incomplete human being. You are a flawed mess. You have the potential to be so much more. You have the potential to change the world. But look at this Greta thing. Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is. That's the perfect example of this. You take someone who's just illogically terrified and you just put her on a pedestal and go, yes, this is it. You're there now. Not only that, you're brave and you're right. Do you want to go see some world leaders? She may never evolve her thinking. She may never actually look at the data on it. Who knows? But we don't need a load of Greta Thunbergs in the world. We really, really don't. We need adults. And at the moment, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. The fat acceptance one is one of them as well, isn't it? Teacher blocked me on Twitter the other day for telling her not to lie to kids. Why the fuck would you tell a kid that being fat is okay? Do you not want them to exercise? Do you want them to die early? Do you want them to have a miserable life? Do you? Because I want my daughter to have a good life. I'm not going to sit there telling her it's fat. For a fucking start, I'm not going to give her only chips and crisps. For a fucking start, I'll take some responsibility for this shit. But sweet Jesus, if your kid isn't exercising, you need to get them to exercise. You need to tell them you don't want to be fat. It's not a good life. It's a horrible life. It's painful. They need routine. They need to learn. Do you know what? Sometimes my immediate pleasure isn't the thing that needs satisfying. Because looking at your life overall, the things that are really, really worth it involve struggle and sacrifice and commitment and hard work. Do you think I'm going to stay with myself by just sitting back and going, "Hi, dear"? No, we're going to have hard times. We're going to struggle. We're going to have issues. I mean, the first year in my baby's life, you don't sleep. And I could feel these arguments bubbling, and it took work to sit her down. So many people break up in the first year that the baby's born because it's hard. It's hard work. And are you going to teach your kid that they can just eat fucking chips and crisps all the fucking time? How are they going to find love? Because love doesn't just get handed to you. You have to work at it. I know because I've failed. I had a girl I had a mortgage with 7 years. down the drain. Another one 6 years down the drain. It takes work. If they can't even learn to eat a fecking apple, how miserable is their entire life going to be? Especially now they're blind. You tools. You absolute friggin' tools. Unbelievable. Anyway, guys, don't forget to sign up, Trigger Warning TV. You can go there and you can go on our social media. We've got forums. We've got the store. You've got to go in the store. You can become a Trigger Warning supporter. Can't you? Hey? You can buy t-shirts. You can buy mugs. You can even buy a mega hat if you want. I don't want a mega hat, though. I want a MAGA hat. Hayden is... Again, I know I've said this a few times now, but it's not on me to talk about his personal circumstances. He will be back. He's building a website for money at the moment. I know you guys donate, and we do appreciate that. A lot of you donate. You're amazing. We get loads of PayPals, we get loads of Patreons, and we get loads of supporters, and it is phenomenal. It really, really, really is. I do appreciate it. But in terms of him paying the bills, right now he's doing another website. Soon as he can, he's going to be back on this. He's going to get it going. In terms of him not being available, it's something similar, but I can't go into it. By the way, guys, the reason there wasn't a stream yesterday, I've left to the end of the show for people who yeah, because I usually start with this nonsense. Sorry there was no stream yesterday. Tuesday, as you may remember, was my girl's first day at school. My partner took the day off. And so it wasn't, we felt weird and panicky, and like, we knew she'd be all right. She's a badass little bugger, my daughter. She's fine. No worries there. It was me that had the problems. But my girl was here. But then yesterday, I was actually alone in the house. And don't get me wrong, I've had time to myself. It's not the first time I've been alone for 4 years. But usually she's out with family, or she's out with my partner or whatever. This was like, my daughter's off and she doesn't need me. She's getting food on her own and all the rest of it. And I'll be honest, it hit me really bad. Really, really bad. I had a load of stuff I wanted to talk about, which is kind of gone out the window now. But yeah, sorry I wasn't there. And sorry, Tuesday night as well, it was the same thing. I was a bit of a mess because I really missed my daughter. I did. I was nearly crying waiting for it. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Waiting for it to come out that little door at the end of the day, I was just like, come on. Everyone else was fine, just chilling on the phones. I'm just like, because that's my heart right there. It's my heart. It's no longer inside me. It's over there with little pigtails going, Daddy, through the window. Yeah, cheeky bugger. They do the little thing at the end of the day, don't they? And she was just at the window going, Daddy! I could see the teacher's assistant trying to get a coat on. Good girl! But yeah, that's why there was no streams tomorrow. And if there's no streams at any point in the next couple of weeks, it's, from my point of view, it's probably that. Because it's hit me hard, man. He's been my best little buddy for 4 years. And I'm just like... Anyway, guys, I got a lovely and leave you. I think Hayden's doing a stream tonight. I don't know if he's going to have me on bitch duty, but as it is Thursday, I do, Tuesday, I'll call his socialist ass out and tell him exactly why he's wrong. And then he'll mute me and just start going on about death lists. But on Thursday, I'm his good little bitch. So you might see me all tiny in the corner of the screen going, yes, Hayden. I'm supposed to be doing the social media for him. But he just reads it out himself. He reads the social media out himself. And then when he does come to me, I'm like, well, that's the thing I've just been preparing. Because I copy and paste it all onto a document so it's all clear. And he goes, Graham, what are you talking about on the next show? And I'm like, I don't know. That's not my mindset right now. I'm not there. But you know what? I love Aiden, but he's a bastard. He's a bastard. He loves making it difficult for me. He loves it. Going on about me being, I love him though. He's a good guy. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. Hopefully I'll see you tonight. If not, I'll be back tomorrow. We are going to be ramping this up. We're going to be doing it every single day. So if you can join us at noon, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely phenomenal. I'll see you in a bit, guys. I love you lots.